Are set to take the green and try and win one of their season's marquee events, the EasyCare 100. Hi, welcome to our coverage of the ARCA Series from Charlotte. I'm Alan Bestwick. Joining me, Bill Venturini, two-time ARCA champ, and Dr. Dick Berggren, the editor of Stock Car Racing magazine. And if intrigue and
3 races left of the 1998 schedule, we've got a championship battle at stake. How about young versus old? 49-year-old Bill Baird is struggling for, believe it or not, Rookie of the Year honors, while 18-year-old Adam Petty runs his first time ever at Charlotte. And how's this for a little drama? The front row, 2 dirt track drivers. Between them, they have a grand total of 11 asphalt stock car starts. This could be one wild night.
Bill, let's talk strategy. I think that's going to be a big story tonight.
Sure, 67 laps, 100 miles. Do they pit for gas or not? There are some guys, especially Kirk Shelmerdine, the fuel mileage king of ARCA. He doesn't plan on stopping for gas. Tires. Hoosier came with the best tire they've had all year. No problems with tires. They can run 70 laps. They're not going to slow down much. I think we're going to have a different race because of pit strategy.
All right, so those are some of the stories as we get set to go racing tonight. Let's swing trackside and get more of them now. First, we go to Steve Burns.
Well, Alan, the most famous name in American motorsports, Petty. 50 years ago, Lee Petty started Petty Enterprises. He became a champion. His son, Richard Petty, won 7 championships and 200 races. His son, Kyle Petty, is a racer today, now a 4th-generation Petty. Adam, starting in the 3rd row, tell us about your feelings, your nerves.
I'm not nervous at all. You know, the car's really good. It drove good in the last practice yesterday. You know, I'm just going to sit back and ride for a while. Watch these guys. I've never raced with them. Try to get in behind 83, that Mike Wallace. He's been around for a long time. So, you know, if I'm just there at the end with all the fenders on it, we'll have a good race.
Well, that's that famous Petty smile, and his dad, Kyle, just said, use your head. Another youngster is Bobby Hamilton Jr. behind Adam Petty. Let's check in now with Randy Pemberton.
Well, Steve, experience could be the key word here this evening at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. On the pole, Darrell Lanigan with a speed of 177.836 miles per hour. He's making only his 4th ARCA start of the 1998 season. On the outside of row 1, Gus Wasson, sprint car racer in the dirt. That's where he does it most. He's making only his 2nd ARCA start of this season. He made his last one on September 19th. Now, the guy that's leading the point standings, he has 9 wins this year. He's coming in here looking for his 10th. He's leading the points. That's Frank Kimmel. He starts 6 rows back of some inexperienced drivers. Frank, what about here tonight? Got to be a little cautious on the start of this race.
Well, we really do. Bad qualifying effort put us back here a little bit too far, and the Advanced Auto Parts Chevy really picked it up last night's practice. We were one of the top 5, I think. So I look for us to get back up there today, but we're going to have to be really cautious getting there.
Okay, good luck. Now let's go back up pit road to Steve Burns. Steve?
Well, Randy, the man who's chasing Frank Kimmel is Mark Gibson, 2nd in the points. Mark, you've got a long way to go to get Frank Kimmel. Your strategy tonight, tell us about it.
We're just here to win the race. You know, whatever the points do, that just comes out in the end. But we're here to try to win the race, just like we've been all year. And you know, Frank's got a pretty good lead, but we're not out of it mathematically yet. So we, you know, as long as we've got a chance, we're going to keep trying.
Well, Mark Gibson's a great racer. Let's check back in with Randy.
Well, we're up here checking in with the pole sitter, Darrell Lanigan, getting all strapped in. We'll see if we can get a quick word with him. Wow, this is something, being on the pole here. You got a bunch of guys behind you. Are you nervous going into this race, Darrell?
Oh, yeah, it's always nervous starting a race, but the car's pretty good. I think we'll be all right in the race.
Okay, he's short on words. He's getting ready, getting strapped in. That's Darrell Lanigan. We'll see how he does. Let's go back upstairs to Al.
Look at that stuff on the top of his helmet.
Yeah, those are chips from running on the dirt.
Got a little mud thrown in.
Great crowd on hand here at Charlotte. Drivers getting strapped into their machines. The starting lineup in the green flag in the EasyCare 100 when we come back in just a minute. These cars getting ready to go before a great crowd at the Charlotte Motor Speedway and run the EasyCare 100. Let's take a look at the starting lineup now and get you familiar with some of the names who will be competing here tonight. We start with the front row. Some names you might not necessarily be familiar with. Darrell Lanigan, a 28-year-old Kentucky dirt track driver. First ARCA pole for him. And Gus Watson, a sprint car driver from the All-Star circuit. He ran 5th in Texas in his ARCA debut. Row 2, Mike Wallace, making his first ARCA start here at Charlotte. Kind of surprising with all the experience he's got at this racetrack. He ran 2nd at Daytona back in February. And Mark Gibson, the runner-up in points currently in this series, he was the winner at Texas 11 days ago. There's Andy Hillenberg in row 3, the 95 ARCA champion, finished 2nd here back in 1996. And Adam Petty, 4th-generation driver, making his ARCA debut and his Charlotte debut here tonight. Row 4, Bill Baird, 4 runner-up finishes this year. Kirk Shelmerdine, winner at Atlanta in March, the former Winston Cup champion crew chief.
And like I said, he's one guy to watch tonight to see if he makes a pit stop for fuel or not.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. makes his Charlotte debut, 21-year-old son of the Winston Cup star, on the inside of row 5. Mike Swain Jr. outside of him ran 6th here in May. Row 6 is John Kinder, a former NASCAR Winston West and Craftsman Truck Series driver. Outside of him, series veteran Mike Cicchetti.
Another former Chicagoan driving the Hughes Supply Ford.
Row 13, Alabama's Jimmy Kitchens finished 8th in the ARCA race here in May '97. And the current point leader, Frank Kimmel, who has 9 wins so far this season. Row 8, Matt Mullins, a veteran of the Old Sportsman Series here.
Yeah, and he's also a driving instructor at Fast Track Driving School. His sponsors, his past students, have all chipped in and are sponsoring him for this race.
Tom Erickson is a Pennsylvanian. His second ARCA start comes here tonight. Row 9, John Linville. This is quite a story. 55 years old, making a return to active driving on super speedways for the first time since the mid-1980s. We'll talk more about him as the night goes on. Outside of him, Ohio's Ed Curtis. Row 10, Bob Strait.
Yeah, Bob Strait won his first race in 5 years last week at Winchester, driving for Jack Bowser.
Bobby Gerhardt starting outside of row 10. Couple of 4th place finishes on super speedways this season. Row 11 is Rich Woodland Jr. finished 9th here in May. John Curley making his ARCA debut. He's a fabricator for the Winston Cup teams of Mark Martin and Jeff Burton. Row 12 is Andy Belmont, who was the runner-up at Atlanta and Winchester.
And we heard that AOL, American Online, has extended their sponsorship with Andy through next year. He's going to run the full ARCA schedule again.
Wayne Leake driving for NASCAR veteran Dave Marcus on the outside of row 12. Row 13, Mike James, a Michigan youngster in his first ARCA start. Kevin Counselor, a Florida driver with 4 top 10s this season. Row 14 is Carl Long, a graduate of the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series. Joe Cooksey, a career best 3rd last weekend at Winchester for him. Row 15 is Howard Rose, his first Charlotte race in 15 years.
Yeah, Howard Rose, he raced with me back in the early 80s in ARCA, and he's back racing, and I'm glad to see it.
Row 16, you have Mark Stahl, the veteran from California, in his 6th ARCA race here. Bill Flowers from Georgia making his return to the ARCA Series first start of 1998. Row 17 is Brian Kahns of Michigan, 10th in series points currently, and Houston lawyer Glenn Morgan on the outside of row 17. Row 18 is Norm Benning, best finish this year, an 8th place run at Memphis. Kurt Piercy, a series veteran from Illinois. Row 19, David Boggs, the 1970 Rookie of the Year in NASCAR's old Grand American Series. Johnny Spradley, a dirt track racer from South Georgia in his first ARCA start. Scratch on the grid, Jim Lamoureux from Pennsylvania. And Texan Chuck Weber got into the field on the last provisional. So that is a look at the 40 drivers getting set to go racing here tonight. Pretty interesting mix of some veterans of this ARCA series, some drivers with experience in other forms of racing. Frankly, some guys are going to get their first crack at a super speedway tonight.
But even the start of this thing is going to be really interesting. Gus Watson, a sprint car driver, is not used to driving with a transmission in his race car. This is going to be one of the few starts he's ever had to a race where he's going to have to change gears, and he is very concerned about that given his starting position on the front row.
It's going to be a couple of laps before we go racing, so let's squeeze in a quick break here. Come back for the green flag in the EasyCare 100. The start is right around the corner. This is Charlotte, North Carolina, and the Charlotte Motor Speedway, one of the show place tracks in all of automobile racing. Tonight, the ARCA Series in the EasyCare 100. Here's a look at some of the manufacturer breakdown competing in the event. See Chevrolet with the dominant hand both in the field tonight and as far as winning is concerned this year.
Yeah, you see there's one make in there that you don't see in Winston Cup. That's that one Oldsmobile. The ARCA rules let you go back 5 years on your make and model on your cars, where in Winston Cup it's only 3.
And the race facts and figures. There you see 67 laps make up the 100 miles here at Charlotte. This is the 9th time the ARCA Series has competed at this mile-and-a-half oval. That 67 number is kind of critical. We talked about it at the very top of our show as far as strategy is concerned.
That's the key. The key to this whole race is, do you pit or not to pit?
Have one car on pit road before we even get the green. That's Tom Erickson, the driver from Heston, Pennsylvania, who had been scheduled to start in the 16th position, was hoping to make his ARCA debut here tonight, but now he is on pit road, and it looks like they're done with whatever they were doing to his car, and the officials are holding him there.
Yeah, it looks like he's being penalized here because the official's standing in front of the car. When you see that, that means the driver's ready to go, but the official won't release it.
All right, right, so 1 to go will be the signal now. Let's go to pit road, get more on that Tom Erickson story, and see what the problem is there in his car.
Well, basically, Alan, what they're saying is they have a radio communication problem. I'm not sure if that's exactly why the ARCA official is holding him down on pit road. I haven't got a confirmation on that, or whether he sped on pit road when he came down here to have the radios fixed, but the ARCA official is indeed holding him down here as we're getting ready to go green here. Steve Burns?
Hey, Randy, as Alan talked about at the top of the show, number 99, John Curley, is making his ARCA debut. Now, if they make a pit stop, they should make up some spots. See, John works as a fabricator, as Alan said. Buddy Parrott is down here. Mike Errett, the jackman for Mark Martin, and many other of the Valvoline crewmen, and from the 99 Winston Cup car of Jeff Burton as well. So a lot of experience here for young John Curley making his ARCA debut. Back upstairs.
Won't hurt him any when he comes down pit road, that's for sure. And he'll probably get some pretty good tips on chassis adjustments during the race, too.
Saw the smile on Buddy Parrott's face. Everybody likes this ARCA stuff going on here in Charlotte. It's fun. It's the way racing had ought to be.
Well, you see the car that was next to him, the 86, Rich Woodland car. He's got the Melling crew from the Jerry Nadeau car. They're helping him tonight.
Looking at some of the past winners in Charlotte ARCA competition here at Charlotte, you see Tim Steele, the dominant man, 4 victories over the years here. Although we've had different winners in each of the last 4 races. Frank Kimmel getting his first Super Speedway win back in May earlier this year, launching him to an effort that could clinch him the ARCA Series Championship, if not tonight, within the next race. There are only 3 left in the season. Right now, though, time to go racing. Pace car on pit road. Youngsters on the front row. Darrell Lanigan and Gus Watson. How will they do leading this field into turn 1 at speed for the very first time? Flanagan at the stripe leads lap number 1. Good start by everyone. Cleanly through the first lap around. Flanagan, Mike Wallace, Mark Gibson, Andy Hillenberg. Wasson drops back to 5th. Mike Swain chasing it up the hill.
Wasson got stuck on the outside for a while, went all the way back to the outside pole, the pit spot. He had a shot to duck in a little bit earlier, didn't do it. Adam Petty now showing some aggression early on in this race. Adam in that green and purple, and what's the other color on the nose of that thing? But whatever that is, on the bottom, that's Adam.
Look how good that, I got into Bill Baird a little bit. You notice how down low and how tight to the white line that 45 car. Adam Petty can stick. Again, it looked like Bill Baird and Adam got together.
I think Adam has learned one very important lesson about racing here in Charlotte. He picked a spot to work on his car that's right in front of the parts truck. That's where it's been all day, so anything he needed, they didn't have to go very far to get it.
Adam Petty had to do a little rebuilding to his car earlier in the weekend after a problem in practice on Monday. We'll talk more about that in a little while. First off, turn 4. You're watching Petty right now running in 6th position. He just took that away from Bill Baird a lap ago. And now this is the race for 7th. Baird in the 52, Kirk Shelmerdine in 3, Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the number 95 car.
And you can see that some of these guys are already taking different lines going through the corners. Some cars are staying right down the bottom on the white line, where other cars are actually moving up 1 or 2 grooves already.
Back up front to the leader, Darrell Lanigan. Now finding Mike Wallace throwing a little bit larger in his rear view mirror. Wallace a substitute driver in that number 83 car.
And they've got a new sponsor on that car this race, the Exxon Superflow.
Watching the interval back to Adam Petty, who now dumps down to the inside. One car in a little bit of trouble in turn 4. That is the Glenn Morgan machine. He got run into by another car that was trying to spin out. And Morgan was kind of the bumper that straightened him out.
Yeah, I don't know who it was, but somebody got, I guess it got a little sideways, and he was there to keep him from bouncing off the wall.
So a bad break for Morgan, but perhaps averting a more serious crash. Right now, it's Darrell Lanigan who leads early in the EasyCare 100 for the ARCA Series at Charlotte.